Well, Casey here with CL Creative, where I'm teaching you web design and Webflow one video at a time. And today we're going to look at some cards on our website, and we're going to look at how we can keep these cards aligned, particularly the button that shows up at the bottom of the card. So let's hop into the computer and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about here. We have our blog cards, and you're going to notice that this button is off. It's not lined up. So at the top right here, these buttons are lined up, and maybe you've experienced this before. You've created a blog on your website, you've created some cards, you pulled in some content. Some of the buttons line up, some of the buttons don't line up. And we notice that the reason why these buttons line up here is because this middle text and this heading text are all the same length. So then our buttons are going to line up. But if we come down here, we notice that this introductory text or summary text for our blog card is not the same. They're different lengths. And so what we don't want to have to create a summary text that is going to be the same length every single time just to get our button at the bottom of the card to line up. And especially if we're building for clients, we can't expect for them to, make that text the same every single time. So what we need to do is we need to ensure that that button is always going to line up at the bottom of the card. And what we need to do in order for that to happen is we need to have everything set up correctly. So we're using a collection item to pull everything in, or we're using a collection list to pull everything in. We have our collection item, and we're just going to set that to flexbox just to start everything out so that it's going to take up the right amount of space. Then we're going to move down to our blog item wrapper, which is basically wrapping this entire card, right? So I have that set inside of my blog post item. And this right here is set to flex vertical, so you can see that over here. Then we have two sections essentially inside of our blog card item wrapper. We have a blog card image, and that's being wrapped. And then we have our content, and that's being wrapped in a wrapper. And we're going to focus on this blog card content now. So we have this set to flex. We have our blog post item set to flex, our blog card item wrapper set to flex. Then we need to come down here and our blog card content wrapper. This has to be set to flexbox as well, and it's set to flexbox vertical. And you're going to notice that everything inside of that stacks. Then the next thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that this blog content wrapper right here is set to a height of 100%. So let me just show you. You can already kind of see that here. You see the blue outline on this card, and this is stopping. The blog content wrapper is stopping right here. Now, if I click on this card over here, and then I click on my card content wrapper, you're going to notice that it comes down to here. And now it's stopping here because I have a little bit of margin set at the bottom of the card just so that this button doesn't go all the way down. But you're going to notice that these are in two different places. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that at least the blog content wrapper lines up. So we're going to set this height to 100%. Now, when we click on this one, you're going to notice that these two, they line up. And the same with this one over here. The buttons are not lined up yet, but at least the wrapper lines up at the bottom. Now, the only thing that we have to do now is we need to click on our button, and then we need to set the margin here to auto. And that's going to take care of it for us. So I already have a combo class set up because I'm using this button is icon throughout my website. So let me just click on this combo class, and you're going to notice that auto gets set right here. Now, if we come back over here and we click on the button, what we're going to notice is that it is being pushed down. So if I hover over this auto, you can see that blue line or those blue lines just above. And so what it's doing is it is pushing that down. So if I go to this next one over here and I get on my button and then I hover right here, you're going to notice you got that blue line there. And what that's doing is it's just creating space in between the button and the paragraph above. And it's creating just the right amount of space so that everything ends up lining up. So that's how you do it. And this keeps your cards nice and tidy looking. So now if we look at this, no matter how long this paragraph here in the middle gets, it's always going to be lined up. So using the power of flexbox and the margin auto trick on the button. And it doesn't have to be a button. It could be anything that's down here at the bottom that you wanted to line up across the bottom of the card. But oftentimes it's a button that you want to line up just so it doesn't look janky or messes up your design. Because if I go back over here and I look at the design in Figma, you notice that this button is lined up at the bottom. And so you may get a design file from someone, you may make a design, and you want that design to look exactly the same when you go over into Webflow. You want to have a one-to-one correlation. And this is how you do it with the block cards. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want me to create a video on another topic, feel free to reach out as well. I'll be happy to do that. Look forward to 2025 and creating some more videos for this channel.